I kid you not, I recorded an entire 14 minutes that for some reason doesn't seem like it was recording. But anyway, no weapons formed against me shall prosper. I am here and I'm. So I was thinking about my last video and the advice just start, and I was actually wondering, like, is just start actually good advice? Like, something about it just feels like telling somebody, yeah, just do it, like, and often, besides the fact that I think some people, which was the context of the video, just need to get to a point where they just do the thing. But sometimes it helps to have the how of how to actually start. So this is that video, and I'm calling it the Just Start Manual, or Just Try Manual, which is my guide for content creators who want to get started and want to make things. So let's get into it. The first thing I would say is, if you want to be a content creator, which again, I think the things I'm going to share will be helpful for anyone, but in particular, I'm talking to people who want to start maybe their own channel, podcast, blog, or anything that has to do with making content. The first thing you're going to do is find your medium. And that means finding the avenue that you want to make and create your art or your work. So that could be the fact that you want to make a podcast maybe, or you are a writer, so you want to have your own blog so you can share your writing, or you could be a photographer, or you could want to start photography. Whatever it is that you want to do, find it and own it. Find if vlogging is what you do. And I say find it because people are multitudes. And so you could be wanting to take photos and wanting to start a podcast at the same time. And you don't always have to choose one, but for the purpose of just starting, you do kind of have to choose one thing, or at least one platform that you're going to pursue to help you share your work. And then the next thing you're going to do after that, which is step number 2, is you're going to go ahead and create an account on a platform that supports your chosen medium. So if you're a photographer, that could be Instagram, or Behance, or whatever platforms you choose, or Twitter even, like social media right now, TikTok. Social media is an avenue for anything. Or you could sign up to a YouTube or podcast, whatever it is that you want to start. Choose the most easy path to that, the most free path even, because you could be a hobbyist who doesn't want to spend any money, or you could be an aspiring professional who doesn't have money to spend, which, to be quite honest, is many of us. So find something free that also is accessible not only to you but to others, and get started. Create an account there. If it helps, search of pros and cons, like why do people choose one platform over the other. But I would say pick the top 5 most popular platforms in your medium and choose one and create an account. So if you're making a podcast, you might choose Anchor to support you, and because that's easy and free, and literally by the time in 5 minutes you could have created an account for your podcast. And once you do that, you will move on to number 3, which is your first post. And it's hard, it's challenging. What do I post about? Well, I got you. This is why it's called a manual. I really want to give you the how-to, which at least is what I have tried in the past to do when I'm starting something new. So what I would do is, for my first post, I will post about my why. I will share why I've decided to get on this path as a content creator. Why have you decided that of all the podcasts that exist in the world, you will also have a podcast? Why are you adding to the population of people with microphones in their hands, spewing sometimes not nonsense, but most times, according to the internet, nonsense or something like that? So share your why with people, your purpose behind your heart for making content, your purpose behind your heart for art and creativity. And this is important because it gives you and reminds you the reason why you're doing what you do. But it also gives others a reason to connect with your work. It shows and invites them into what you're doing. Because there are many people in the world, but there are not many like you. There are not many who are moved by what you're moved by. And if anything, if there are others who are moved by what you're moved by, sharing your why allows you to also connect with those like-minded individuals. So for your first post, you make your why. Why are you starting this podcast? Why are you starting this YouTube channel? I actually did that in my previous video, Just Start. At the end of the video, I shared why doing this matters to me. Wow, that's a lot of whys. Okay, before we move on to the next step, right? You're gonna stop. This is step 3, right? You've created the post, you've published it and clicked publish. You're gonna stop before you move on to the next step, and you're gonna do a happy dance, all right? A little dancey dance, and you're gonna celebrate yourself. You're gonna acknowledge the fact that you have done something you have probably been itching to do for a very long time, and you're finally taken the step and gotten started on the thing you've always wanted to do. And so you're gonna stop and congratulate yourself. You're gonna celebrate yourself, and you're gonna affirm yourself, because affirmation is what brings about positive action. And so we're going to encourage ourselves into this journey. We're going to take our wins where we take them. And that is a big win. No kidding. There's so many people who never take that first step. In fact, in the past, you've been that person who struggled to take the first step, and now you have overcome, and you're about to get this started in this new journey. It's worth taking a moment to just celebrate and acknowledge that you've done it. Hooray! And after you have done it, you will take the next step, 4, and you will share what you have made, not with everyone, not yet, but with people who you share good news with, or people who celebrate with you when you're celebrating, people who root for you, people who say, wow, Dee, you really take nice pictures. You should consider doing that all the time. You share with people who have always said, man, you have such a great voice, you sound great on a podcast. Friends who point out the gifts in us, family that support our gifts, and you're going to say, hey, I did a little thing, and it's scary, but here it is. And so you're going to share your victory with others, particularly supportive voices in your life, because at this moment, when you first publish your first thing, you're always going to feel vulnerable. In fact, I think you feel vulnerable when you post anything and publish anything. And so it helps to have people in your corner who are just going to support you and encourage you and make you feel like, oh, I'm onto something here. And finally, we're going to move on to step 5, which is you're going to share your work with others. And to be quite fair, if your purpose is to just share your work for yourself and for your friends, then that's fine. Just sharing with your friends is enough. I think, not everybody's trying to be an influencer. Some people are just trying to make their work and share it with the people around them, and that's absolutely okay. And if that's what you want to do, that you want to keep your creativity as something that is personal and private to you, then congratulations, you've finished the Just Start manual. But if you want to take it a step further, because maybe number 1, you might not be doing this to become someone popular or anything like that. Maybe you're doing it because you want to grow your skills. In fact, one of the fastest ways to grow your skills is to start making content. If you're somebody who wants to be a filmmaker or a producer or whatever, or even a writer, like you want to be a screenwriter, the fastest way to get better at being any of those things is to make content regularly in a way that challenges the skills that are needed to succeed at the thing you want to do. So for instance, if you are like me and you want to be a storyteller, document, podcast, produce things, I will start a YouTube channel that is visual and audio, and it helps me to practice being a better storyteller and a better filmmaker, right? And if you want to grow in that, or if you want to grow your content creation, you take the next step and share it with a larger audience, wherever that might be for you. For a lot of us, that's social media, that's Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. Just be brave and take the final step to say, I've made the thing, I've shared it with my close friends who have hopefully assured me that it doesn't absolutely suck. And even if it does, everybody's first thing isn't the greatest thing. But you have chosen to be brave and continue the path of sharing your victory by sharing with the world what you have made, because that's how we connect with people who have the same purpose and the same reason. That's how you connect with people who appreciate your purpose and reason. That's how you connect with other artists who are doing the same kind of thing that you are doing. But also that, if that's what you want to do, if that's not what you want to do, honestly, don't do it. the point is, choose if you want to share your work with a wider audience, and find an avenue that allows you to do that the easiest, what is most accessible to you, where you most have the kind of audience you want to cast your net to. Maybe TikTok's not your audience, maybe Instagram's not your audience, so you go somewhere else. But find where people share what you share if you don't already have an audience. And to be quite honest, maybe even be creative in how you go about your audience. It's not always that the work that you make should be shared online. So maybe you make prints and share them with people. Maybe you go to art fairs and show your art, or maybe you make little stickies that you give to people and tell them, hey, I'm a graphic designer now, I make little stickers, here's one. I think I'm very currently in my creative process drawn to non-social media ways of sharing work. So I think sharing with an audience goes beyond just sharing on social media, but sharing on social media currently is really just like casting a net. You never know what might happen, you never know who you connect with, and if you want to have some form of, success in what you do, then you might as well just shoot your shot and share your work. And when you complete that, you would have completed the 5-step process of getting started. And hopefully this has been a helpful video, more helpful video, depending on where in your journey you are. And I'm hoping that this video can be something I actually send to people who ask me like, Dee, how do I start a podcast? How do I do this? And I want to do this, I want to do that. But to be quite honest, in the end is these steps don't matter until you act on it, right? So I hope this is not another video of you watching another tutorial. I'm sorry I'm dragging you at this point, but truthfully, I think if you just did these things, like if you just gave yourself 30 minutes and said, I'm just gonna do step by step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you would have technically become a content creator by the end of it all. And obviously it's different when you think about things like, oh man, I want to start a blog, but I want it to be the perfectly designed blog and all those things. Yes, you can, but you can also just start with what you have, or at least start the momentum and build upon it, because nothing's ever perfect, and give yourself the opportunity to grow and try at things, and don't always wait for all your ducks to be in a row. When we suppress our creative needs, there's a part of ourselves that is being suppressed, right? So that voice that tells you start a podcast, just listen to it and start, because it's something that your heart is yearning for, and truthfully speaking, you owe it to yourself, because you have one life to live. Why not give yourself the opportunity to find out what happens when you try, right? That's my word for today. I actually eventually want to put the Just Start manual into like maybe a helpful PDF or guide or something like that I can make downloadable and free or something like that. I didn't want to wait until that's ready to make this video. So when that's ready, I'll of course let you know, and hopefully this is helpful. Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching this video, and can't wait to see what you have started, and peace out.